Our jails are not adequate.
Local jails across Washington are among the only institutions in the state with no one looking over them. Jail experts say it comes at a cost. The state has one of the highest death rates of local jail inmates in the entire country, but Washington has no mandatory jail standards. It's up to jails to police themselves.
It's not working. There's an incentive to cover things up. It's really about looking at how to change the system so that these cases don't repeat.
State Senator Rebecca Saldaña thinks it's time to bring back a jail oversight board, something the state hasn't had for 4 decades.
If we don't do this, it's only going to get worse.
This month, she dropped legislation that would create an independent body inside the governor's office, one that would come up with uniform jail standards and investigate problems affecting inmates, just like the issues the King 5 investigators found in jails across the state. In 2022, we showed at the Forks Jail in Clallam County, a jail guard sexually abused multiple women he was supposed to be protecting. And in rural Garfield County, in this dilapidated basement jail, an inmate took his own life, but his body wasn't discovered for more than 18 hours. We also found multiple jails using unqualified medical staff to treat inmates, like Javier Tapia, who lost his leg at the Pierce County Jail after a life-threatening infection went undiagnosed.
I feel they still took some of my freedom from me, leaving me in this state.
It is exactly what we're trying to prevent.
States in more than half the country currently have independent oversight of local jails, and Washington used to be among them.
We could see we had made this progress.
In the 70s and 80s, Bill Collins of Olympia helped the state create a jail oversight body with the authority to drive change behind bars.
It was improving jail operations, adding a level of professionalism. Here's one filed in 1981.
More than 40 years later, he still has copies of the first statewide jail standards.
Well, here's a standard. It talks about access to health care training.
Bruce Kennan, who now lives in Virginia, was responsible for enforcing them.
There's probably nobody that has been in as many jails in Washington as I have.
He was one of 2 people tasked with inspecting every local jail in the state and made recommendations to the state board when he found violations.
Yeah, I've been in favor of that coming back for a long time. A little surprised it's taken this long. Oh, there was major change in the jail operations from before and after.
His findings during a Pacific County jail inspection still stick with him to this day.
They literally had no staff. They literally just closed the doors at night and hoped that everybody was okay in the morning.
In 1987, the state legislature nixed the commission and required city and county jails to adopt whatever standards they saw fit.
We all had the feeling if you take away that agency with a hammer, things are going to start to slide backwards. And they did.
There are more than 50 local jails in Washington, and the largest one is in King County.
I think it's long overdue. And
Director Alan Nance says he's in favor of the proposal to bring back jail oversight and standards.
When there is an absence of that level of consistency, the experience of people in custody suffers. And we can do better than that. And we should do better than that.
He's not the only one who thinks so. The leaders of 8 jails across Washington told us they would support mandatory jail standards, but the state would have to pay for them.
That's a very real thing, and it does require an investment of resources. There really is a need to have legislative support.
Senator Saldaña says she intends for local governments and the state to share the expense, but there are a lot of improvements that don't cost a thing.
Well, not all standards are expensive. There's work that can be done already to improve the quality of care. Everything that's happening right now, for the most part, has been preventable.
When a similar bill was proposed in the 2024 session, it didn't pass. Saldaña is hoping to get more buy-in this time around when lawmakers reconvene in January. In the newsroom, Taylor Muirfriend-Areski, King 5 News.